Hey everybody, it's your favorite host again coming to you live, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. Today we are going to talk about something that is kicking our butts, and that's social media marketing, right? And I have the man, the expert here on the show to talk about how to take your Facebook marketing and your Instagram marketing and your social media marketing to the next level. You won't want to miss 1 second of this dynamic speaker. Here we go. Hey everybody, it's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today I have the incredible Colby Flood. This man is a powerhouse speaker, and he's created a company that is helping us, you, me, do better with our social media marketing and reach our target audience. Mr. Colby is an in-house marketer himself. Mr. Colby noticed one major issue with agencies he hired himself in the past, which is communication. He founded his company, Brighter Clicks, with the mission to create an education first agency that focuses not just on performance, but proactive communication led by education. Woo! Love to learn. I love to learn. That's how we do better. That's how we grow. You can tap into his educational opportunity here on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, or by checking out Mr. Colby and his team on his company's website, Brighter Clicks. And today we are going to interview the man, the myth, the legend himself. Help me welcome to the stage, Mr. Colby Flood. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. Glad to have you, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, Marcus, how are you doing? Glad to be on here.
Glad to have you, sir. We are struggling with this social media thing, man. This is confusing, mass confusing. I tried it myself, and it is just too much, and it's always changing. It's always changing all the time. But before we dive into that, what is your story, sir? Tell us a little about yourself. I cannot do you justice. I could read your resume all day long, but tell us a little about yourself so my audience can get to know you more.
Yeah, I would love to share my story. So the Drake song started from the bottom. I'll reference that a little bit. Might be able to relate to that a little bit. So from 15 to 21, spent a lot of time kind of down the wrong path, focusing on drugs, partying, alcohol, the wrong part or the wrong crowd, the wrong group, and ended up at the age of 21 in a Christian-based regeneration program for men, a drug and alcohol regeneration program. Spent 4 months there, found out who I was, found out how much God loves me and what he wanted for my life. And after I left Living Free Ministries, which is in Snow Camp, North Carolina, I started my work career. And, at this point, Marcus, I was a 1-year college dropout. You hear people say, I don't remember going to class. I genuinely don't most of the time. So I started teaching myself. I started really being education first. Amazon books, YouTube videos, Google searches, everything that I could, and started actually working with the Christian-based nonprofit doing their fundraising, their outreach, their building of their entire organization, and taught myself everything from website design to social media marketing to email marketing. And from there, continued on that path on my own. Finally got the confidence to step out and do my own thing, freelance for a while, really focused on Facebook, Instagram ads for e-commerce businesses and software companies. And that's where Brighter Click started, really from my past of understanding how important being education focused is, and understanding that just because you don't have the degree, just because you don't have the accolades of college and things like that, you can get to where you want to go. And that's our heart at Brighter Click, is to be education first, to provide that opportunity. So
Wow. I commend you, brother. Thank you for sharing that. That's huge. Right. There are so many people struggling with drug addiction. And
yeah.
there's new drugs coming out seems like almost every single day. and people are just chasing that same high. I struggled with my own addictions in the past. I suffered from alcoholism. Alcoholism runs in my family. I never transitioned, fortunately, to the harder stuff,
Yeah.
but that was a point in my life where, yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you for hearing that. We are not alone. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. And
Um,
congratulations on overcoming it yourself as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too. It says something to me, but tell us. I'm gonna let you tell it. How did you come up with the name Brighter Clicks? Was that a
Along
poker
with
game, a poker bet that you lost, or?
No, I not good at poker. It kind of ties into what our mission is, right? Is to be a brighter opportunity. We want to be a brighter opportunity for people who are want to be that marketer, want to get to that place, and don't have $500, $5,000 to pay for a course. We want to be that brighter opportunity in our clients' lives to let them see where they're going with their marketing and reach their goals. And we want to be the brighter opportunity just with anybody who wants to get where they're going and wants to have that either first chance or second chance opportunity.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And that's what we need. We need a second chance. And you're you are so right. There's some huge companies out there that's like, it almost costs an arm and a leg to get your brand noticed, to get your brand out there. So it's nice to know that somebody out there cares about us. The small business, right? It's not just small business. That means smaller budgets, right? So
Yep.
when you sit there and you say, well, we'll put you out there on TikTok and social media, but we need, your right arm. That's not necessarily exciting to me as a
Yeah.
small business owner who's trying to build. So I love that. I love that you take that approach and that you have that stance. Sir, how does it work? Can you go through the process of what Brighter Clicks from beginning to end does? Like, what is that process over? I book a consultation, we sit down, you consult, and then where do we go from there?
Yeah, that's a great question, Marcus. So we'll get on a call, we'll get on a consultation. I really just want to learn about your business, what your goals are with your business, and what you've done with marketing in the past. And then from there, if you've run ads in the past, we like to provide a complimentary audit and go through about a 30-point checklist and mark down exactly what is going wrong in your account and anything that has gone right in the account, and then what we would do from there. We would get on a follow-up call. The whole purpose of that audit is to educate the business owner. We don't want to just sell you on something. We don't want to just tell you our solution is going to fit. We want to educate you enough to where you can make a comprehensive decision on if it will fit. From there, if we decide to move forward, we have guided documents, guided forms that you would complete that help give us all the information needed about your business. And, a lot of times we find it's a good kind of a workbook opportunity for business owners because they're marking things down like their buyer personas or their brand USPs that they may have not spent incredible amount of time on in the past, but is so important to make sure you're marketing correctly, not just on Facebook and Instagram, but anywhere. And then our team takes that information and goes into the actual campaign build flow. And Marcus, if you would like, I could definitely share a little bit about kind of the testing methods that we use within Brighter Click to have accounts excel on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We need to know. We need to know. Spill all the tea, some of the tea, if any of the tea.
Yeah, I'll give all the information. So we really look at split testing out. Let's say this is for a business that has not successfully run Facebook and Instagram ads. We want to understand all the key details, right? What are your top audiences? What are your top messaging? What is your top creative styles? What is your top copy structures? Your best headlines, your best landing page. We take the whole ad, we take the whole user experience, and we break it down into sections. So if you are listening to this and you want to run Facebook ads for the first time, what I would suggest is focus on building out 2 to 3 campaigns. And in those campaigns is going to be 3 to 4 ad sets for each campaign. And you are going to use those ad sets to test out the specific audiences that you have. Now, what you need to do is you need to look at finding some interest-based audiences that are relevant to your business. You need to take any information you have from your business, like website visitors on the pixel or add to carts or registration completeds. And you need to start creating lookalike audiences from that. And then you also need to start testing what we call wide open. Now, this sounds unorthodox, but sometimes it works. Most times it works. You just set up an ad set that has no targeting other than age and geographic location. We call that CBO wide open. So you're going to have 2 to 3 campaigns, each with 3 to 4 ad sets. And those ad sets are going to have your different audience breakdowns in them. We want to show them all the same or very similar ad. Why is that? Let's think back to high school with the control variable in science class. You want to control as much of your testing as you can. Run those ads for 5 to 7 days and look to see which audiences were performing the best. Turn off all the ones that did not perform well. Take your top performing ones, move them into what we call round 2 of testing. And that's where you start testing out with your top performing audiences, your messaging. So you want to understand what is the key part of my business that is really driving people to my website to either make a purchase or to sign up, right? And at BrighterClick, we take structures and themes with everything. So with our messaging structures and themes, this may be something like the founder story. This may be if you're a made in the USA product and you're selling in the USA, made in the USA. This may be your brand mission if you're eco-friendly. What part of your USP is really driving the most action? Take 3 to 4 of those, test those with all the top performing audiences. Now, let me backtrack and say the only thing you're changing here in this whole situation is the copy on the ad. You're not changing the photo, the headline, anything else. You're only changing one thing at a time. You test that for 5 to 7 days, move them into round 3 of testing. You now have your best performing audience and your best performing messaging. And now you're going to test out your copy structures, your creative structures, your headlines, and your landing pages. So for 3 to 5 days, you're going to test out copy structures. Does 15 words or less perform best? Does a listicle perform best? That's when you see like the bullet point emoji list with copy above it. Does mid-form copy, 2 to 3 paragraphs, work best? Does long-form copy work best? You test that copy, and then you move the best performing audiences, the best performing messaging and copy structures into the next round. And that's where you test out creative. Is it user-generated content? Is it graphics? Is it videos? Is it animations? What type of content is performing best? And then in the next round, test out headlines. Is it news style headlines? Do reviews on my headlines perform best? And then the last step is landing pages. Is it my homepage? Is it a specific product page? Is it a collection page? Is it an informational page? That's a very high level view of it, but understand the whole purpose is to go through and put a why behind everything that you're testing so that you can have an understanding of what is performing well and what is not. And Marcus, I'm from North Carolina. I live in Raleigh, but I grew up in a very southern county. We have a phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if any part in that whole testing process, something starts working, leave it. Don't stick to the process and keep going and just keep trying to optimize. Let it run and work if it is working.
And thank you for saying that, and thank you for breaking that down. That's huge and that's major, right? So what is the timeline people should expect? Because obviously this is not a one shot. Okay, now I'm getting hot leads, I'm getting great leads. What is the time frame? How long should people expect to be in this program to get an effective do all the testing, run all the tests, do all the split testing, figure out what works for my clients, and then I'll start seeing quality, better leads? What does that time frame look like?
That's a good question. The way we like to put it is our goal from day one, testing is not synonymous with no results. We like to say our goal from day one is to get results. Generally, the testing process, if we see it through and through, lasts for about 1 to 1.5 months, depending on the performance that we see. But ultimately, at every stage of round 1, round 2, round 3, the goal is to get to that desired goal for the client so that we can continue kind of building out from there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Love it. Love it. Love it. Round of applause, y'all, for Colby Flood. I told y'all, the legend himself, breaking it down. You see how this I call him Dr. Flood. This man is breaking it down. We have one quick commercial break, y'all. I'm sorry, we gotta pay the bills. Got to pay the bills. We'll be right back. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. We are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today we have Mr. Colby Flood, and he's breaking down the science of social media marketing, right? If you missed any of him, go back, scroll back, and check him out. He just broke down how his team and how his company, Brighter Clicks, performs and takes you through the process step by step of finding the right campaigns, the right funnels. That's a new word I just learned today. The right funnel system to get your quality leads in through Facebook and Instagram. Sir, what is the best platform? Which one is better for marketing? Facebook or Instagram? Who's better? Or is it just better to just run them together?
That's a great question, Marcus. I would answer that with a question of who's your target audience, right? So Facebook is a great opportunity to find that older demographic, the 35 plus crowd. If you're looking for the younger demographic, 18, 21 to 35, I would definitely say Instagram is your best place. What you can do though, is you can set your ads to just kind of automatic distribution or automatic placements to start, and then let them run for 5 to 7 days for 2 weeks and use that breakdown in your ads manager and see, is Facebook doing better? Is Instagram doing better? And do I need to kind of shift budget towards one or the other?
Makes sense. And you've said that several times, 5 to 7. Is that kind of the key metric to kind of watch and see what trends are happening in your ads manager? Is that a good, solid place to okay, I've run this for 5 days and I'm getting nowhere?
Yeah, that's what we like to use. You can, if you move it too soon, you can miss out on opportunities because there is delayed attribution. If you only let it run for a day, 2 days, you can miss out on a good performing ad. But we can't let it run for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then see if it's performing well. I started in a nonprofit and have worked with small businesses for a long time, and I respect their budget and their money. And we don't want to just use the fallback of spend more, we'll get there. We can continue to optimize, and we want to be conservative with the ad spend that we do have, right? Or at least consider it with it.
Makes sense. Please don't waste my money.
Exactly.
I need every penny, and I understand, right? There's a growing phase, right? There's a trial and error phase. That's expected, but if we run in for 3 weeks and we have gotten nowhere, something has to change. You're right. So thank you for breaking that down. That's huge and that's major. Miss Shanique Henry, she says she loves it. She loves it. So thank you, Mr. Flood. I told y'all, Dr. Flood is in the house. He is breaking barriers here, and he's breaking foundations and myths here that we need this stuff, right? I have been messing up Facebook marketing for a while, for a long time. And so your expertise is necessary, brother. You are needed. What's the range? And we're going to talk money. And I know there needs to be a consultation, right? You have to sit down and talk to people before you can give out hard, fast numbers. But what's the range I should expect budget-wise to allocate to paying for your services?
For our services in specific, generally we start at about $2,200 to $2,400 a month in retainer. we provide everything: copywriting, graphic design, all the graphics that are needed, all the account management, all the advising. And we also offer a lot of education. This doesn't just stop on the Marcus podcast here, the Gentleman Podcast. We continue that with our clients as well.
Perfect. And do you do everything, or is it more like you tell me what to do? Like, hey, Marcus, we have access to your Facebook page. You need to fix this, or do you, consult and educate along the way, and then you do it for me, or how does that work? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question, Marcus. So right now we offer a full done for you service. We take care of everything. Our goal is for you to focus on your business as much as possible. For you and for all the people listening, we are in the process of actually building out an educational side to our business, where it would be weekly, bi-weekly Zoom calls, either one-on-one or one to group, so that we can really have that advising role for people that might not be able to pay that $2,400 a month for their full done for you retainer.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What are you seeing? What trends are you seeing right now? Are people more responsive to video advertisement, or people like the little slideshow advertisements where it's like a slideshow of all your great works or products or services? What trends are you seeing in the market shift? Because you mentioned, Instagram has its own age group and Facebook has its own kind of age group. What trends are you seeing in your experience?
If we're looking at content in specific, I would say people don't like to be sold to, and people like to buy from people, not businesses, right? So user generated content, that raw organic content, continues to perform best. It took me a while. I'm a perfectionist. It took me a while to accept that, because I want everything with clean corners and fine lines and things like that. But the grainy, the unfinished product of a graphic or of a user generated content tends to perform best. We're also seeing that stories, placement, ads normally have the highest return on ad spend. So if you are running a business that is e-commerce or can run creative in stories, one thing that is very exciting, at least to me, most people don't get excited when Mark Zuckerberg puts out a Facebook post, but he just put one out in the past week that's sharing what the goals for 2022 are for Facebook. We saw that they just had a bad quarter last year, and they're wanting to turn things around this year. They're wanting to fight TikTok. And we saw this with Snapchat, right? You remember when Instagram didn't have stories, Snapchat was crushing it. And then they turned around and they said, oh, okay, we're going to have stories now. And they took back that. One of the number one priorities for Facebook in all of 2022 is for Instagram Reels. That's one of their main focuses. And I say that because that's going to be prime ad space. And that's going to be prime opportunity for a lot of business owners and any content creators listening to start focusing on either creating Reels as a content creator or putting your placements for ads in the Reels space and making some organic video content for that.
What about YouTube? Do you service YouTube? You just gonna leave me out there in the dark?
We like to do one thing and do it well. We're looking at other services in the future, but for you or for anybody listening, we do have a good network of people that we trust to send clients to, for YouTube, for Google, for TikTok, for email, for website management. So it could definitely be handled, but we place a huge priority on client communication and just the effectiveness of our services, and we'll get there one day.
Perfect. There's hope for me. Okay, thank you. I was just sitting there like, wait a minute, I feel left out here. So that makes sense, and I love the fact that you're willing to grow. You're not just stagnated and saying, well, we just do Facebook and Instagram, that's it. You're not going to just leave me stranded. You're going to say, hey, here's a company over here that can help you in that area, or here's a partnership that we have that can help you in this area. So thank you for not giving up on us. We appreciate it. We have a question from one of our VIP sponsors of the show, Ms. Nicole Morris. Thank you for your sponsorship. What are the benefits of having a marketing company on retainer versus, I guess, trying to do it ourselves?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me answer this in two ways, right? If we're looking at it in the sense of what is retainer versus hourly, you have us locked in. You have us there for you month by month. We set aside time for every business that has us on retainer, and we determine our lead generation efforts for ourselves or our workload or our hiring and things like that based on who we have on retainer, right? So that's the big benefit of hourly versus retainer. Having a marketing agency on retainer and as opposed to doing it yourself, this is what we do 40 to 50 hours a week, everybody on the team. I mean, this is all we focus on, is making sure that we are up to date on everything that has to do with Facebook and Instagram ads. I mean, this is, I don't want to say this is our life, but this is what we do. So if you want very good results and you want to see your business grow, sometimes you have to make that investment. You have to invest in the marketing opportunities and the operational opportunities. And we like to consider ourselves a multifaceted opportunity for the management, but also for just continued education with our clients.
There you have it. I hope that answered your question, Ms. Nicole Moore. It's a great question. Great question. Sir, what advice, tips, suggestions for that business owner that's just getting their feet wet and they're on the fence about going, paying for Facebook marketing? Because you don't have the education piece, right? Because I could see that be a powerful tool. And there are some do-it-yourselfers out there, right? There are people that want to I want to learn this from me before I jump in and say, hey, I'm going to pay someone to just manage it all. And then there's people like me who are lazy, who will just pay someone to do it. I'm not lazy, but I do understand there's power. And just like you said, it frees up my time to allow me to focus on bigger aspects of my business. Instead of trying to, is this the right type of reel? Is this the type right of advertisement? Is this the right type of, whatever? I understand that. So I want to ask the question, what advice or tips would you say to that business owner out in the audience that wants to just make small improvements to their Facebook, Instagram marketing?
This might be a roundabout answer, and Marcus, I'm horrible about these, but it's going to get to the point of understand that there are multiple parts in the marketing system that can have a positive and negative effect. And look at the selling machine first. Don't look at Facebook and Instagram first. How is your website performing? How is your lead funnel performing in terms of conversion? If you're driving great cost per click and great CPM and great click-through rates, but there's no conversion on the website, you can test audience over audience over audience over again and again. And most times it won't end up helping, because you need to focus on the website conversion opportunities and the funnel opportunities. I would say the first and most important thing you can do is really talk to someone who can help you improve your brand messaging, or just validate your brand messaging and look at those opportunities. And then go into Facebook ads as a way to understand mass market wise, is this messaging really working? And understand the bare metrics. You don't have to understand how to run Facebook ads or this or that. Understand you want your click-through rates higher than 1%, your CPC below $1, your CPM $7 to $15. If you're hitting all those marks, your Facebook ads are doing well. Okay, you want your, for lead gen, website conversion rate to be 20%, e-commerce, your conversion rate to be 5 to 7% or higher. If you can't hit those metrics, then you need to see what part of your system has a crack in it, right? So understand the metrics you need to hit, and then work on your messaging.
Absolutely. Do you create the funnel page? Do you maybe I'm using the wrong terminology. Do you create the website? Well, let me just say it like this. Do you create the entire funnel system for me? Or
Good question. We don't do anything off of Facebook. We do have partners that, if it's lead gen, that do the actual click funnels or WordPress or things like that. And if it's e-commerce, Shopify, WooCommerce, things like that, we really dial in on one specific thing and focus on excelling at that. And then, like I said, we're planning on scaling out in the future, but right now we do not.
Absolutely. So yeah, you're the core. You get the Facebook right, and once the Facebook right, then you'll work with other partners to get the funnels right, the email systems right, all of that. So huge.
Yeah.
Are there any books that you recommend, or any books that you read yourself that can help set the core foundation for Facebook marketing and Instagram marketing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for books for Facebook marketing, not as much. For marketing in general, definitely This Is Marketing by Seth Godin. Anything Purple Cow by Seth Godin, anything by him is very good. This is once again a roundabout answer, but one book I just feel like to share every opportunity I get is a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. A lot of times in business, one of the biggest struggles we have is the mental aspect. That book, if you read that, it is going to change your life. It is all about limiting beliefs and the problem with limiting beliefs. Check that book out. So
Perfect. Love it. Colby Flood, y'all. Dr. Flood.
might have to change my LinkedIn name to Dr. Flood after this.
You should. You got to get the white coat too. You got to get the white coat, the goggles, and the experimentation canisters. Sir, this is huge. How can my audience connect with you? How can we learn more about you? How can we grow with you? The train has left the station. You are taking off, brother, but it's not too late to get on board. How can we grow with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Colby@brighterclick.com. Feel free to reach out there. You can find me on LinkedIn, Colby Flood. I have a nice little green background in my picture. Easy to find there.
Super dope. Connect, y'all. That's the name of the game here. Connect and grow, right? Grow your social media. Take advantage of this opportune time. Take that stimulus, right? And don't buy the latest pair of Jordans. Grow your business. Grow your Facebook. Grow your Instagram and get on board with Mr. Colby. If you got that tax refund check coming, right? Put it to growth, right? Because Mr. Colby here, Mr. Flood here, will 10x your company. He'll take your marketing to the next level, which will pay you more down the road, right? Instead of that one-time check, you can 10x your business, and now you have continuous clients reaching and grabbing for you. Mr. Flood, sir, you've been phenomenal. This has been a jam-packed episode. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here and helping us take our brand, our business to the next level. You're phenomenal. I want to say this to you, brother. Don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. We need you. We need what you're doing.
I appreciate you, Marcus. I had a lot of fun on the show.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I had fun. This was fun. This was dope. I hope this helps y'all. I hope this helps you all, my audience, take your brand, your business to the next level, because this is necessary. Mr. Flood and his company, Brighter Clicks, is necessary. I hope this message has served you all. I hope this helps. We got to give Mr. Flood back. He has a company to run and more Facebook ads to produce that show up on your phone and harass the heck out of you. That's all him. No, I'm just kidding. Do not get him. Love you guys. Take care. Like I always end every show. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. And always take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show, your favorite host and favorite gentleman, and Mr. Colby Flood, the man, the myth, the legend. Signing off. Love you guys. Bye.